In this presentation, I'm going to show you how to complete the author analysis matrix. You will need to complete a similar matrix, but instead you will complete the matrix for 2 articles with opposing views. I'm going to use the article A Dark Side of Arranged Marriage. I included the article for you to read before viewing this presentation. This way, after reading the article, the presentation will make more sense to you. For this matrix, I will be doing an author analysis for 1 article and 1 author. For your assignment, again, you will complete the author analysis for 2 authors and 2 different articles. Both articles are on the same topic, but they're opposing views. I will go through each column at a time in the presentation, so that way you will understand how to complete the matrix correctly. In the second column of the table, we examine the author's credentials and try to determine if the author is credible or not credible based on her credentials. Remember that the author's credential consists of the author's educational background, work experience, involvement, and experiences. For this article, I gave you the author's credentials. She is an author of 5 novels, a commentator on women's rights and female empowerment in Pakistan and across Muslim countries. She's also serving as the president of the executive committee of the Global French Language and Cultural Institute. Now that you know her credentials, it is important that you answer question number 2. Is the author credible? And explain why. You will clearly state yes or no, and then explain why you think so. Remember, when you explain why you think the author is credible, you need to use the credentials in your explanation to support your answer. So in this case, the answer is yes, the author is credible because she has experience working with women in Pakistan and Muslim countries. Arranged marriages are high in these countries. In the third column, you need to decide if the author is biased or neutral. Remember that you can tell if an author is biased or neutral by the language or word choice the author uses. So if the author is biased, then you need to decide what stance the author takes. Is the author for it or against it? Make sure you state what the author's stance is if the author is biased. Now, if the author is neutral, then the author's stance is also neutral, and you only need to write down neutral. So for this article, The Dark Side of Arranged Marriage, the author is biased, and the author's stance is she is against arranged marriages. In this column, you are now using evidence from the text to support how you know the author is biased or neutral. Remember, evidence are quotes from the text. Evidence are not summaries, nor are they your opinion. So to support that I know that this author is biased, I found this evidence or quote from the text to show how she is biased. She states, our motivations for arranging people's marriages are not always done with the pure intent of trying to help the 2 parties along the path to personal happiness and the building of a healthy family unit. Arranged marriage in South Asia is often a pretext for parents to cement family ties, clan ties, or business ties with each other, using sons and daughters as collateral. In this column, you are trying to figure out who would be interested in reading this article. And when the author wrote this article, who was she speaking to? And while the general population is somewhat the correct answer and true, there's always a specific group of people the author has in mind. So selecting the general population is not wrong, but it is not the only answer. So you must always provide a specific group. In this article, Bina Shah seems to be informing her readers about the dark side of arranged marriages. This means that her audience may not know a lot about arranged marriages. Who would not know a lot about arranged marriages that might find this insightful? Maybe we can say Americans. We can even say young and single women with cultures that practice arranged marriages. Finally, in the last column, you are to indicate what the author's purpose is for writing this article. Remember, we talked about 3 different purposes: to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. In this column, you will select one or a combination of these purposes. And for this article, the author's purpose is to simply just inform us about arranged marriages. She's not trying to persuade us to do anything, nor is she trying to entertain us. When you have completed the table or the matrix, it should look something like this.